If we haven't met, I'll introduce myself. I'm Jennifer Elliott, and this is VinYin, or Vinyasa and Yin. So our first half will be some really good twists and core work, leading us to some nice twists and back bends. So that's where we're going today. And then we'll have some nice deep stretches at the end for our Yin. So decide if you want to start either in this 2-block heart opener or flat on your back, arms in cactus, whatever makes sense for your body and your space. And as you get yourself set up, just close the eyes. Take the arms out to the sides, palms open. Just a few moments to get really centered. Notice how you arrived in this space. For most of us, we've been in this space for a while. And so it may just take sort of a mental shift. Maybe your place has not changed all day, all week, all summer, but maybe you can just shift your attention to moving from this external landscape of what's around you to the internal landscape of what's within you. As the eyes close, you might start to notice some simple things like how the body is feeling. Maybe notice the thoughts. Just really use that turning inward as an investigation. And whenever you can today, you might even close the eyes so you're not really focused on anything around you, but really bringing your focus inward. Let's bring our focus inward by connecting with the breath. Let's take a nice full inhale through the nose. Open the mouth and let it out. Again, in through the nose. Open the mouth, let it out. In through the nose. Hold. Sip a bit more breath in through the nose. Sip a bit more breath in. Open the mouth and let it out. Good. In through the nose. And out. Now continue that breathing in and out through the nose, but let's blink the eyes open now, interlace the hands, reach the arms overhead, get some length, maybe even a yawn. We're waking up those nervous systems, or at least shifting our nervous system from our day to our practice. Bring the arms back overhead, change the interlace, reach back behind you again, maybe yawn again, never hurt anyone. And release the arms, roll to your side if you're on these props, and grab a prop, whether it's a block or a folded blanket, and as you return to your back, place this prop between your thighs. So hug your thighs into that prop, nice and parallel. You can raise your feet to a tabletop, so legs are parallel to each other in the floor. Interlace your hands behind the head like a sit-up. Pick up your shoulders. Take an inhale. Exhale, curl your heart up, navel towards the spine. Inhale, lower and relax. Exhale, curl it up. Inhale, lower and relax. Now continue this on your own. And if you know me by now, you know I'm not really concerned about a sit-up, especially this early on. We're just really linking breath and movement. And so slow the breath down to slow the movement down. See if you can really fill the lungs on inhale. Exhale. Press the stale air out. And I did that through the mouth just to sort of illustrate, but it'll be in and out through the nose. Couple more. Last one. Set your feet on the floor. You might keep this prop between the thighs for a moment. Just a dynamic bridge, arms by your sides. Inhale, arms and hips rise, just making it fluid. Exhale, arms and hips down. Nothing too intense. Inhale, arms and hips rise. Exhale and lower. All right, inhale, arms and hips rise. Keep the hips lifted, arms by your sides. Reach for the edges of the mat, draw the shoulders underneath you. Make sure you're just looking at the ceiling. And take a moment to really anchor your heels into the mat and try to drag your heels back isometrically so they don't go anywhere. But as you feel the heels pulling towards you, you definitely feel like the hamstrings are getting a little bit more work. And then slowly paint the spine down. Okay, so that's the work you're going to do if you don't have a blanket or a floor where you can slide that blanket. So you're going to do bridge again. If you need a little bit more space, you can even fold up your mat. I'm going to do bridge, but with my feet on a blanket so it can slide forward and back. So again, make sure this is for you. If you have any knee sensitivity, low back sensitivity, just do the regular bridge with the block. Now already I can feel that my feet are going to slide, so I have to set myself up well. I'm going to hold the edges of the mat, walk the shoulders underneath, peel the hips up into bridge. Now this is the same for everyone. If you're in bridge here, you're just going to root through your heels and try to drag your heels towards your bum isometrically. The feet aren't going to go anywhere if you're not on this blanket. If you're on the blanket, very slowly use your heels to slide the blanket forward, not too far. Make sure you're not looking at me, just at the ceiling. And then once you get a little bit away, now really dig the heels into the blanket and slowly try to pull it back. Okay, do we have a Charlie horse yet? Let's try again. So move those feet a little bit away and smaller movements. Don't worry about these huge movements. It can be very, very small. And then dig your heels into the blanket or the floor. Isometrically draw it back or draw it back with the blanket. All right, do a couple more on your own. Move slow. Really try to get those hamstrings warm. Woo! All right, one more. Dig your heels in. How slow and controlled can you pull that back? All right, go ahead and paint your spine down. If you have that blanket, you can move out of your way. And then it should feel nice to give ourselves a good stretch. So you're going to take that right foot to the ceiling. Add your strap if you'd like. Left knee can stay bent. Just take a few moments here, stretching out the hamstrings and that Charlie horse we just created. Couple of breaths. Now we'll continue with this stretch here, but see if you can keep this left knee bent. So when you switch hands and you start to cross the right leg over into a twist, just let the left knee fall down. And then maybe some of you right hand can reach for that bottom foot. If that feels like a lot right now, don't worry about it. We have lots of opportunities to reach for that left foot. Otherwise, just work on the twist and getting into those right hamstrings. If you do have that bottom foot, lightly press it into the hand to get a little bit more of a stretch on that left front thigh. Feel the left shoulder blade out from underneath you. Take one more breath here. If you have the bottom foot, gently release it. Come up to center. Maybe adjust over if you don't have a lot of space as we switch to the left leg, those left hamstrings. I don't know about you, but I definitely feel them now. Right knee is bent. Couple more breaths here, getting into the hamstrings just as is. And then both straps in the right hand, keep the right knee bent. Start to cross over. Just let that bottom leg fall. And tip here, if you have a wall, you can always use it. I love the wall. So if you're in a space that feels too narrow, there's a couch, there's a wall there, why not use it? All right, and then some of you, left hand will reach for the right foot. Press that foot into the hand if you have it. But don't force it. You have lots of opportunities. Couple of breaths here. Feel that right shoulder blade out from underneath you. And then very gently release the bottom leg back through center. You can pull both knees into your chest, hands underneath the knees. Rock forward and back, or however you'd like to come up to seated. Find your way to hands and knees. And you can move that blanket to the side. Maybe we'll use it later. I like to use blocks, so I usually have them here at the front of my mat just set up for me. And then as you come to tabletop, just start to set yourself up well for cat-cow. The inhale pulls your chest forward, and the exhale rounds your spine. And just start to move with the breath. Inhale and exhale. Great. We'll do one more. Inhale, lift the heart, pull the navel in. exhale, and round. And then as you come to center, more of a neutral pose, straighten the right leg out behind you and lift it up to the height of the hip. So drop the outer hip down, look down, you're probably leaning on that left leg, firm it in. You've got that blanket possibly near if you need a little padding. Reach your left arm forward, bird dog, so opposite arm and leg. Now you can stay here, this is a great place to be. Or slowly bend the right knee, sort of digging the heel towards the bum. And some of you may reach that left hand back and try to catch that foot in the hand. Press the foot into the hand if you have it, pull the belly in. If you're not ready for a twist or back bend, then just stay with bird dog, extending opposite arm and leg away. And then slowly return to bird dog if you weren't there. Hands and knees, cat-cow again. Inhale, heart lifts, so does navel. Exhale, round. Find center. Straighten the left leg out behind you. If you're not thinking about it, the hip opens too much. So we want to drop the left hip, spin up from the inner thigh, belly lifts in. Firm that standing hip in. Right arm forward, thumb up like you're giving a handshake. Stay as you are or slowly bend the left knee, dig the heel in. And then some of you will reach the right hand back, catch the foot into the hand. Press the foot in, lift the heart, lift the belly. And then inhale, slowly return to bird dog. Exhale, hands and knees. Lift your chest on inhale. Tuck the toes and exhale. Slowly lift up and back, down dog. And you might want to pedal the feet. You might feel those hamstrings again here from that first pose. Just give them a nice slow stretch. Shift forward into plank. Top of your push-up, and take care of you. This may be on your knees, you may be modifying or using variations best for your shoulders and wrists. Tip yourself forward on the toes or knees and see how slow you can lower to the floor. Elbows hug the body the whole way down. And how slow you go will just depend on how you're feeling in the shoulders and the wrists. When you arrive on your belly, take an inhale, lift the heart, lift the shoulder heads, lift the navel. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift the heart, maybe higher, lift the belly. And release. Inhale, lift the heart, maybe lift all the way up and up dog. Push into the feet and the hands. Lengthen through the spine as you pull the navel in. Downward facing dog and breathe. Take a few breaths here. Raise your right leg up behind you, just to the height of the hip. Bend your right knee like we did earlier. Start to open up the hip this time. Push your foot behind you, draw the navel in. And then slowly come back to center. You can keep the bend in the knee as you bring it towards the chest. Pull the knee up high. Inhale the leg back straight, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to the left arm. Keep your shoulders over your wrists. Pull the knee as high as you can. If you want, bring it to center from here, then plant the foot next to the right thumb tip. Release the back knee down, pat it if you need. Inhale, arms rise, Anjaneyasana. Take a moment here, lift the frontal hip bones. Try to really get some nice length on the front side. Hands to your heart, inhale, and exhale, twist to the right. Try not to use this arm as leverage. Instead, lengthen on inhale. Exhale, gently twist. Couple breaths. Slowly unwind. Hinge back for a moment. Pick up the front toes, Ardha Hanumanasana. Isometrically drag that heel back towards you again, just like you did when you were in your bridge pose. Pull the chest through. Shift forward, heel toe the right foot to the right. So it's a wider lunge. Both hands are on the inside. Now everyone feels different here, so you can stay as you are. Or turn the right toes out 45 degrees. Turn towards that front leg. And you may reach for that back ankle. Usually I like a blanket under the knee, but I've turned in a way that is okay on that knee for me. If you have the foot, press the foot into the hand, lift the heart, lift the navel. And very slowly unwind, hands to the floor. Step to plank, top of a push-up. Tip forward, lower chaturanga, hold. Can you hold it 2 breaths? 1, 2, lower all the way down. Inhale, your back bend of choice, push into the palms and into the feet. Down dog. The left leg lifts high to the hip. Take a moment, bend the knee, dig the heel towards the rear, and then slowly open up the hips. Push your foot back, pull the navel in. Come through center. You can keep the knee bent as you shift into plank and pull the knee high to the chest, root through the palms. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to the right arm. Keep shoulders over the wrist. You're still in plank. Lift the knee higher. Slowly come to center and plant the foot next to the left thumb tip. Back knee drops down. Arms rise, Anjaneyasana. Hands to your heart, twist to the left, elbow over the knee. Okay, breathe. Lengthen your spine, inhale. Exhale, twist. Slowly unwind. Hands down, hinge back, pick up the front toes. Give yourself a nice stretch. Notice I have a little bend in the knee, but I'm isometrically dragging that heel back, heart forward. Shift forward, heel toe that foot wider. If you know that you want that prop underneath like a blanket, set it there. You can turn to face towards that bent knee. And some of you may reach for the ankle, but as I've said before, we have lots of opportunities if it's not here. Press the foot into the hand if you'd like. Open the heart. And then slowly unwind. Find plank. Tip forward, lower halfway chaturanga. See how my mat is today. See if you can scrub your toes back, flip over, up dog, or however you'd like to get to your back bend. Down dog. Okay, take 5 breaths here. Maybe this is child's pose, anything that allows you just to feel rested, regrouping. Maybe close the eyes again, moving into that internal landscape. And inhale, high to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, step or hop, top of the mat. Inhale up halfway, chest forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise. Reach the arms to the sky, palms press at the top, navel in and up. And exhale, hands to heart. Okay, Surya Namaskar, Sun Salute A. So bring your arms by your sides. For sun salutations, you can bring your arms forward and up or out to the sides. I change just depending on what's comfortable. Today, I think I'm going to go forward. Inhale, arms forward and up or whatever you'd like, palms press. Exhale, forward fold, soften the knees on the way down. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, step to plank. Shift forward, lower through your vinyasa, whatever that looks like for you. You can also skip these vinyasas, the chaturangas, whatever you need. When you get to down dog, we're here 5 breaths again. Hands are shoulder width apart, feet are hip width apart. Root through the inner palms and try to lift your toes towards your shins. Thigh bones press back as the armpits and arms lift up away from the ground. High to your toes, bend your knees, step or hop, top of the mat. Inhale up halfway, exhale fold. Inhale, arms rise, palms press, navel in and up. Exhale, hands to heart. Round 2, inhale, Utthita Hastasana, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, either step or jump. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, up dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Find your breath. High to your toes, bend your knees, step or hop, top of the mat. Inhale up halfway, exhale, fold. Root to rise, inhale, arms reach to the sky, palms press. Exhale, hands to heart. Okay, 3 on your own. Surya Namaskar A. If you don't know them, make them up or do what you'd like. We'll meet in our third down dog. Inhale, usually reaching, exhale, usually folding or moving inward. Inhale and exhale. Slow the breath down. Slow the movement down. 3 to 5 breaths here, down dog. And take care of you. Sometimes I jump forward or back, sometimes I don't. It depends on how my wrists are feeling, what's happening in my body. So think less about how you're getting into these actual poses and more about how is it working for you. Are you adding extra breaths or skipping poses? What do you need today? We have one more round. We're going to meet in our next down dog. One more. If you want to skip a vinyasa, just go right to down dog. We'll meet there together. And then let's just simply walk our hands back towards our heels. Forward fold to the back of the mat. You can take our feet together. Big toes touch, little space between the heels. Bend your knees, drop your seat. Find chair pose, Utkatasana. Hands to your heart, take an inhale. Exhale, twist to the right, elbow over the knee. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale, revolve. Couple of breaths here. Weight in the heels. Pick up and spread your toes to explore. And see if you can keep that, but inhale, bring your torso up to center. Exhale, hands to heart, twist left. Elbow over knee. Pull the chest through, inhale. Exhale, revolve. Couple of breaths here. Weight in the heels. It's easy to shift forward. It's even easier to shift back. Inhale, arms rise. And so do we. Exhale, hands down. Whew, okay. So if you have a block, grab a block. This is one of my favorite things to do in the studio. If you stand on the block with your left foot and you realize you want more surface area, step with one foot in front of the other. If you don't have a block, you could do this without. It just gives us a little bit of room to play with here. So with the left foot on the prop, the hands are on the hips, and I'm going to get lazy. I'm going to let that hip hike out to the side. And then I'm going to firm the hip in, or really feel like I'm pushing my foot down, and then get lazy again. So firm it in, get lazy. All right, so keep working through this. It won't feel like much of anything at first, but later when I tell you to firm your side hip in, we sort of have a frame of reference for it. Or when we were in bird dog, that opposite arm and leg in the beginning, I told you to firm your standing leg in. So this is what we're looking for. So a couple more. Okay, so firm that hip in, leave it as it is. And then slowly bend your right knee, dig your heel towards your rear. Use your middle fingers to lift your frontal hip bones, push your foot back. Now I'm not pushing into the ball, but as if I could, I'm gonna push that foot back. This is our pose. If you wanna reach back for that ankle with either hand or both hands, go for it. Lift the frontal hip bones, firm the side hip in. Try to keep the hips square. And I'm going to explore, and I'm going to try to switch hands. Using my left hand, my opposite hand, bringing the right arm up. Couple of breaths, press the foot in, breathe, and release. Okay, how'd we do? Step off, take a walk around the block. Maybe now you feel that hip. All right, side two. So step on the block with the right foot, or just do the best you can with your space. Hands on hips, get lazy, and then firm the hip in. Get lazy, firm it in. So continue this on your own. Some other things you're noticing is we're not locking the standing knee. We're not bending it either. We're just trying to isolate, hugging the side hip in. That's kind of a common yoga works cue, so you may have heard that before. Couple more. Okay, firm it in. Slowly bend your left knee. Dig your heel towards your bum. Lift your frontal hip bones. Push the heel back. If there is a wall, why not push into it? And then you can stay or reach for the ankle, yogi's choice. Lift the navel. Find your breath. Try to keep those hips square. And it may or may not work for me on this side. Some of you might switch hands. Whew. Breathe. Firm the standing hip in. And release. Okay, walk around the block. Feel like jello now. Okay, so put your blocks back at the front. I'm gonna be lazy, or wrong use of words. I'm gonna save my wrists around. So I'm gonna skip a vinyasa. You're welcome to do what you like. With the back of the mat, sit back into chair, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. You can heel toe the feet hip width and walk forward, downward facing dog, or however you got to down dog is fine. Then inhale, the right leg lifts, three-legged dog. Exhale, step the foot to the center of the hands. Anchor the back heel down. Come on up, warrior two. Sink into your pose. Now you might take a moment and just explore this front heel rooting down and isometrically pulling in, just like we did on the mat, or some of you on that blanket in the beginning. So there are just a couple of breaths. Lengthen the inner thigh, try to point the kneecap over the center of the foot. And then straighten up the leg, kick the hips back, maybe shorten the stance as you reach forward, setting up for triangle pose, Trikonasana. Find your breath. I'm going to bend the right knee again. Move forward about a foot. I'm going to use a block for my hand. And raise up the back leg. Ardha Chandrasana. Now take a moment here. Can you root through that right foot like you were on that block, lifting up out of the hip? Firm the side hip in. And then if you'd like, bend to the top knee. You can use your middle finger of that left hand to direct your hip points up. And then some of you will reach back with that top hand. Again, try not to bend the standing knee, try not to lock it. A few of you are really brave, and I've seen you reaching with the other hand. That's not for me today, but explore. All right, straighten, step back mindfully, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale to the floor. Step to plank if you want side plank on that left side. Right hand down, Vinyasa, or right to down dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it through, right to the center. Anchor the back heel down, heel to arch. Come on up, warrior two. Sink into your lunge, open your heart. Try to isometrically drag your front heel in. Straighten the legs, maybe shorten the stance, kick the hips back. We're going to move through triangle, but it's really just a pass through in order to move ourselves into Ardha Chandrasana. Take your time. No rush. Press into the standing foot. It's just like when we were on the block. Spin that top hip down, your inner thigh back. And some of you may bend your top knee and reach back for the ankle. Press into that standing leg, find your breath. Straighten. Step back mindfully, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale to the floor. Plank or side plank. Yogi's choice. All right, we meet in down dog, however you arrive. Find your breath. Inhale, the right leg lifts. Exhale, step it next to the right thumb tip. Stay up on the back toes and come up crescent lunge. So hands can come up onto hips. It's the same work we've been doing. Now bend the back knee so you can sink in and put your middle fingers on those frontal hip bones and try to use them to direct the hips up. Use your thumbs to draw the tailbone down. Get a nice good stretch on this back thigh. Lift your chest, find your breath. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands down. Frame your front foot, hands on floor or blocks. Straighten the legs, shorten the stance, Parsvottanasana. Pull your chest forward. Right hand to the right hip, pull it back. Draw the heart forward, inhale. Exhale, revolve. Open your heart to the right. Place your hand in your lower back. Try to make it level. And then some of you may take that top arm high, but not necessary. If you're really level, that arm does not get as far as you'd like it to, and that's fine. Release. Move those hands and blocks forward about a foot. Pick up the back leg. Now all of this is bringing everything together. So if you can, hand on your lower back, your right hand, drop the pelvis, firm that right hip in. I'm actually, because I know I'm close enough, I'm going to use the wall. So if you're close enough and you want to use the wall, go for it. Push your foot into the wall. Pull your chest forward. Or if there is no wall, use that imaginary wall. You can place your hand on your lower back, pull your chest forward, find length. I know we're tired, these hamstrings. And twist. Find your revolved Ardha Chandrasana. How we doing? Bring the right hand down. Pull the left knee into your chest and set the foot on the floor next to the right. Bend your knees, drop your seat, find chair. Forward fold, let it go. Yogi's choice. Make your way into down dog, whatever that looks like for you, and we'll do side two. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it next to the left thumb tip. Pull the heart forward. Soften the back knee as you rise. Find your crescent lunge, hands to your hips. Give that little bit of time to adjust. Sink in, find your breath. Elbows towards one another. Sternum lifts, chin drops a little bit. Inhale, arms rise. And exhale, hands down. Frame your front foot. Use your props if you'd like. Straighten the legs, shorten the stance. Find your pose. Lead with your heart. Find your twist. So pull your chest forward, open to the left. Maybe that left arm comes up. Can you move the bottom ribs out from underneath? All right, now on that first round, I use the wall. So if you have a wall and you want to go for it, I'm going to just do this without on this round so you can see both. So I'm going to lift up. I want to drop the hip, lift up from the back inner thigh, and I want to firm that outer left hip in, just like we learned on the block. You can stay here, or we worked the twist. Now, as we twist, those hips want to fall out to the side, so can you keep them level? Use your breath. I know it's challenging. I know those hips are tired. Mine included. Couple of breaths. We're almost there. I don't know where there is, but we're going there. All right. Release the hand, pull the knee into the chest, set the foot down. Find your chair. Slowly rise. Arms by your sides. Okay, so we'll take a vinyasa and we'll do that one last time to finish our standing. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, your choice, however you'd like to arrive in down dog. Okay, so we're going to tie this all together. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step it forward. I'm going to move just right to hands on blocks. We're going to do the same thing we did earlier. I'm actually going to move my foot back just so I have more room on my mat. So however you arrive, raise the back leg up, the same thing we were doing before. Drop the hip lift up from the inner thigh. Firm the standing hip in. Hands can stay down. Take your back knee, gently push it into your front knee, make your own knee bend. Straighten up. Knee to knee. If you want to take the arms out to the sides, you can add balance. Straighten. Knee to knee, tuck it in close. Left hand under the heart. Right hand catches that foot behind you, just like we've been doing all practice, or maybe this is your first try. Press the foot into the hand. Open the heart. Firm the standing hip in. It's harder here. It might even be a little more tired, but we've been working it. See if you can. Breathe. And slowly unwind. Let's just step right back into lunge. Right back into down dog. All right, one more. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it forward. Use your blocks, why not? Okay, get yourself set up. We're going to straighten the front leg. I'm moving my foot back just so I have more of my mat. Pick up the back leg. Drop the pelvis, lift up from the inner thigh. Back knee into the front, knee to knee, make a bend. Straighten it up. Knee to knee. Straighten. Last one, knee to knee, hold here. That right hand can move more under the heart. Left hand moves to the foot. Press the foot into the hand. Open the heart. Hug that side hip in. Breathe on the side. It's hard for me today. Where's your balance? Where's mine? Couple more breaths. Gently release. Nice job, everyone. Step way back, lunge. Way back, down dog. Knees to the floor. Tailbone to the heels. Child pose. Rest. Okay, how do we do? Go ahead and roll yourself up. Move the feet out from underneath you. And then shift yourself forward. If you're like me, the legs are a little tired. That's okay. We're going to stretch them out shortly. So whether you had that blanket to pull back or not with your feet in the beginning, or you just isometrically dragged your feet back, we're going to find the same experience here for a moment. So lift up on your sit bones. You can lift your heels so your toes are down. You can even just keep your heels down. It doesn't really matter to me, but you're isometrically pulling the heels back towards you, and you can feel everything engage a lot more. I like toes down and pulling, but again, I invite you to explore. Can you pull those legs closer? Lift your chest. Okay, and then explore. Can you keep the legs pulling back as you slowly lower all the way down? Inhale, the arms reach back. Exhale, pull it in, lift up. Pull the legs back. Did you lose the feet? Slowly lower. Keep pulling the feet towards you. Inhale, reach back. Those legs are pulling. Exhale, bring it up. Okay, one more. You know I like threes. Lean back. Those legs are active. Pull back. And return. All the way up. Okay, give yourself a nice Well-deserved hug. Find your way onto your belly. We're almost into our full stretches, but we've been doing a lot of asymmetrical twists, so it's really important to have a little symmetry to our body here. So find your way onto your belly. Forehead down. Lift your shoulder heads. Raise your heart, raise your legs. Spin up from the inner thighs, the arms face. You can stay here where we've done the work to bend the knees, reach for the ankles, press the shins back. Find your breath. Dhanurasana, where you can stay in Shalabhasana, legs straight, or even do bridge again. Slowly lower. Turn your head to one side. Rest. Feel your heartbeat. One more. Lift your shoulder heads, lift your heart, arms and legs, great pose, or bend it, Dhanurasana. Breathe. Lower, turn your head to the other side. And bend your knees, wag your feet side to side. If you're already on your back, just bend your knees, windshield wiper your legs. And then press up hands and knees. We're going to move into Pigeon Pose, but I'm going to grab my timer so we can do a full yin pose. So we're going to move into single pigeon. If you prefer thread the needle, that's a great version for you. We're going to be here 3 minutes. You can slide that right leg forward. If you want to prop like a blanket under your hips, go for it. Or you can come to your back and thread the needle. Just notice how you feel here. We've been doing a lot of twists, and twists really activate your power center. I often give sort of chakra lectures where I talk about the developmental view of the chakras. And I always say that when we get to our solar plexus, this third chakra in the navel, it's like we've hit our terrible twos. I want, I feel, I need, me. So allow yourself to listen to that. That's your sort of intuition. All these nerves that exit into the belly, we call it the little brain. There's this tug of war. There's sort of this balance between your ego identity, which is in the center, and that intuition and humility. So everyone's feeling a little bit different. We're about halfway through this pose, so I'm going to give options. You can stay as you are and just enjoy the rest of the pose as is. If you're in thread the needle, you can drop the legs to the left to make it a twist. Or some of you may want to add one last reaching for the ankle in any kind of bind you'd like. Or maybe this is the first time you wanted to try it. So just explore. You've got a little more than 90 seconds left. You might even move lower into the pose and really try to pull that leg in. Just commit to stillness, whatever you've chosen these last 50 seconds. See if you can stay with it. Five breaths. Okay, switch sides, whatever pose you took. Make your way onto side 2. I'll turn around, change a little perspective here. So we were in this pose 3 minutes. I'm giving you that halfway point, which is about 90 seconds in. So oftentimes when I talk about the chakras and getting into this third chakra, Manipura, I talk about digestion. So obviously twists are going to help you digest your food, but we intake more than food. We intake all that's around us, sort of all that we consume on the internet and what we hear, what we see, what we think. And so we need to digest all of that. We need to process. So use this as a time to process and release those things that aren't serving you any longer. Just like food, there's some of it that serves us. We keep it for nutrition. And the rest of it is literally waste. We don't need it anymore. So if you're consuming a lot through your eyes, through your ears, what parts of it are you ready to throw away? No longer needed. So again, we're around the halfway mark. If you did something on side 1 to split up your pose, go for it. Not necessary. Take about 4 or 5 breaths, see where you're at. And then for that last 50 seconds, we'll try to commit to stones. We'll try to commit to whatever we're in. All right, let's find our pose now. We'll call it maybe 8 breaths. We're not looking for perfection. We're just looking to breathe and become still in our body and our thoughts. All right. So as you come out of that, if you're in pigeon, you might consider leaning left, sweeping the right leg around. And I'm just going to keep my right leg straight, my left leg in for Shavasana, but I'm going to grab a blanket just because that feels really nice for me to have a little bit of a lift on my seat. Okay. You can also slide a blanket under that straight leg if you'd like. So Shavasana, bring the arms up, lift and lengthen, revolve a little to the right, and then fold. Find your way over your front leg. You're going to stay with that 3 minutes. I'm a huge fan of props. Most of them, if you have them already, they're there. So maybe you throw those props under the elbows. Again, it's more about target areas, less about specific pose. So if Shavasana, if this version is not for you, you can either take a twist, which is what we're getting a little bit in the upper back as a little rotation, or you can do something for the hamstrings or forward fold. You might even turn to your wall and do legs up the wall. And see if you can really get settled into stillness. It's through these longer holds that we activate the meditative mind. We did all of our twists and back bends, which are very stimulating to nervous system. It's these forward folds that are very calming, very cooling. Working ourselves back to balance. We're halfway there, about 90 seconds left. Maybe here you close the eyes and investigate that inner landscape again. What's changed? What's different? Last 4 breaths. All right. So slowly bring yourself up. We're going to switch sides. If you are doing something with the side, if you have legs up the wall, you can stay there. You can split your legs out to the side, whatever makes sense for you. Lift and lengthen, revolve a little left, and fold if you're in this Janu Shavasana. We're sticking with that same 3 minutes. Notice how things might be different. If our nervous system is really activated, there's a lot going on that gives us that fight, flight, or freeze. Yin poses may be really challenging. You might have felt really good in the flow, but once we stopped, it might feel a little intense, sort of as your nervous system is rising. So if you need to come out and come back in, go for it, no big deal. But eventually, we're looking to coax that nervous system into resting, to digesting. About a third of the way in. Use your breath to coax that nervous system to relax. Slow the breath down. Less than halfway through. About 5 breaths. right, bring yourself back. And then choose either a seated forward fold, so both legs forward, or if you have a wall and you want to do legs at the wall, you haven't done that yet, you can do that, or legs in the air. If you have a prop, you can always throw that underneath the hips. I think I'm going to take legs up the wall. So almost through our poses, just this and then one finishing pose. So choose for you, legs up the wall, seated forward fold, or anything else that allows you to feel nice, relaxed, and balanced. It's really easy in these moments of stillness for your mind to start to wander what you have to do next. Maybe you're making dinner or you're planning a grocery list. And see if you can set those things aside. They're still going to be there in a couple of minutes. Bring your attention back. Bring your attention into your body. Maybe guide your thighs a little closer to the wall or to the ground. Let your breath create a nice even flow. Or maybe even close the eyes and visualize where you'd like to be right now. Is there a beach? Is there a mountain? Where is that happy place? Where can you visualize your internal landscape becoming that external landscape? Here, about 10 more breaths. All right, take the next couple of minutes and do any finishing poses you'd like. We'll meet in Shavasana in a couple minutes. So you might take one last twist, or you might like a happy baby. So take a few moments in that finishing pose, whatever that is for you. And as you're finishing up, you may have more movements you'd like to take, but we're going to start to move into our Shavasana. So I'm going to set up my blocks, just slide my blanket on top of that. And then we'll stay with that 3 minutes for our Shavasana. Let your body just settle in, fully digesting what we've done. And regrouping in these final moments of practice. Start to move fingers and toes. You might reach the arms overhead and even yawn. Bend your knees. Make your way onto your side. And slowly press up to seated. Hands to your heart in gratitude for all the time and effort you've put into you today. Lift your heart. Bow your head. Namaste.